Welcome to Mediumship Moments with psychic medium Kim Durham. Join her as she shares her personal journey with mediumship, connects with your loved ones, and discusses topics dealing with spirituality.
Hi there. In today's episode, I have Aubrey sitting with me to talk about ghost busting equipment. One of the things we like to use is the Polaroid camera for and get the best results that we have.
And this is what Mom used.
Yes. Well, she used 600 speed film.
Yeah.
On Paranormal PSI. And actually on kimdurham.com, my website, you'll see the actual photograph that was taken back in 1974 when they were ghost busting. And they used 600 speed film with their camera. So that's why we use it.
And also it's a good tool to use if you want to see something right away. The
Yes.
development of the film, trying to debunk something in real time.
Great point.
And that's always a good,
ooh, yeah, yep,
okay.
Look, yeah.
I felt, I saw, and I captured.
And you captured.
Yes.
There you go. Nicely said. The next part of the equipment we want to talk about is the REM pod.
REM pod. Big old shiny guy here. REM pod, you've probably seen this on a lot of ghost hunter shows.
Yes, it's a favorite of theirs. And it's a favorite of ours too. And Aubrey will go into why.
So the REM pod specifically fluctuates energy around it. And it's a great visual tool if you want to see if a spirit wants to interact with you. When you turn this on,
It's going to get a little loud. And then we have to tear it. And
this antenna here detects if there's motion or fluctuation in energy. So the closer I get to it,
and we can give you directional. See how that yellow went?
So if I'm over here and I'm pointing this way, it'll redirect on what side it is. If I come on this side, if I get closer, different colors emit a stronger presence, a higher energy level. And a way for us to detect if somebody's here. We use this a lot for yes and no's as well as we're asking questions if you're here, and also that noise. So if we're in another room and we have this laying in another room and we can hear, we can hear it. It denotes, hey, there might be some activity going on in the other room, which we're not standing in. Let's go down.
I mean, it's seek and find, right?
Yeah, hide and seek.
Hide and seek.
Yeah.
So we used that at the Haunted Hurley tour, where we had Billy, who was the sound engineer.
We put it on his deck.
Lighting engineer. I'm sorry, Joe's the sound engineer there. Shout out to Joe and Paula and everybody at Scottish Rite. And boy, did Billy love that. Every time we put it up on the soundboard or the / lighting board in this auditorium. It's 1,000 seat. It was built by the Masons back in 1932. Acoustically perfect. And Billy was the former lighting gentleman who still hangs out there. And when we did the tours and the investigation there, boy, he was forever touching it.
And also Mr. Hurley definitely made his presence known in his office, which he's been known to still hang out. And also the steps. We put one of the REM pods on the steps where we had some activity as well. He's been known to.
We used the Medusa's net, which we don't have here, but just picture a laser grid in green. And we use that on the back of, for the stage, because you can see when somebody breaks that color grid, that light grid. And boy, all the steps, like you were saying, you would see the light grid go, and then the REM pod would go off. And
that sound is pretty apparent. Like, that's a REM pod. It's a distinct sound.
And like Aubrey said, it emits its own electromagnetic field, so you can see visually where it's being touched, what direction it's coming from, temperature changes, and then audibly hear that as well. So it is a favorite. A lot of the ghost busting shows use it as well.
Yes.
Let's go to the Spirit Box.
Spirit Box. So
now, the SB7 Spirit Box, another favorite of anybody doing paranormal investigations. Ours has so go ahead and explain what it is.
So a Spirit Box is a tool that we use when we want to contact a spirit who we believe is intelligent enough to be able to respond to some questions. What this does, this spirit box specifically does a sweep rate where it sweeps through AM or FM channels,
Yeah.
depending on what you want to choose, and also the fluctuation of the sweep. So what happens? It is said to believe that through those FM AM frequencies, the spirit is able to conduct its own
Yeah,
format.
manipulate the words and use those words from those radio stations
Yes.
to be able to communicate.
Pretty popular. This one took off early on in the ghost hunting.
Yes.
I know taps. This
Yes.
is a big one. But very much so a great tool if you want to ask questions or just leaving it on.
Yeah, right. To hear an audible, if you're asking a question, is there anybody here with us? And it says, hello. And you go, wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We hook it up to,
A little mini speaker.
yeah. And this way you can hold those objects in one hand. They've made the SB7 smaller
Yeah.
for that. We have one of it's not that old. It's maybe a year old.
So
It also, will pick up EMF changes.
sound a lot.
So you get it to move a little higher.
Yeah.
We could ask, is there anybody here with us today?
Yeah.
And so that's what you'll hear as it leads through. It's also used in a form of communication called Estes.
Yes. Which we'll talk a little bit more about.
On our next podcast, where we did the investigation of the USS Battleship this past weekend.
New Jersey.
Yes, what an incredible place. But we'll go into Estes is using, basically you put a soundproof headphones on and a mask, and it's deprivation, right? So the person who's sitting has the mask on and the headphones over so they can't hear or see anything. And in the headphones are connected to the spirit box. So all they can hear is verbal
Confirmation or
but they don't know what the person, if Aubrey's doing the Estes real quick, she'll have the headphone on, she'll have the eye patch over so she can't see or hear me. But she'll have the headphone connected to the spirit box.
Yeah.
And I'll ask a question. Is there anybody with us today? And maybe Aubrey says, yes. And then, but she doesn't know.
repeating.
She's just repeating whatever she hears. Right.
I can't hear you. I don't know what questions are being asked. It's total deprivation. It's an controlled environment in the sense of
Right.
there's no interference. Also, it keeps in line if like people are asking multiple questions.
Yes.
Or if there's a repetitive, if I keep repeating the same thing.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
So it's another way of communicating.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the flux. This is a favorite of mine.
I like this one.
This is
a fun one for me. We talk about being visual.
We're very visual.
Very visual. And I like things that change colors. So this guy, kind of in the same realm as the REM pod, just a little bit more concentrated, where it detects magnetic or change in fluctuations in temperature, in movement.
So it sets up a circumference based upon that turning of the dial of 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 feet. So if something breaks that field, much like Aubrey said, the REM pod, it will go off.
And it will turn red and green. I think the batteries on this guy.
Yeah, we used them a lot at the Battleship.
We did. We are coming fresh off the Battleship New Jersey, so some of the equipment
needs to be recharged.
So basically, what happens is it will fluctuate what foot level, like what 1, 3, 5 feet you said.
Yeah.
And what happens is on one side it'll turn green, one side it'll turn red. Colors are important in the fact of if we want to ask yes and no, we denote yes is green, red is no, and we've had some pretty interesting experiences. So the closer that they get on one side, it'll turn green, on the other it'll turn red.
So for instance, at the Haunted Hurley at the Scottish Rite, And we use the flux.
Yeah, we use the flux on the stage,
Yes.
which has had many personal experiences of people seeing shadow figures, but also an intelligent entity that likes to answer questions.
Yes. Like we asked, are you Mr. Hurley? And it answered no.
I believe also during that time,
Excuse me.
somebody asked if they liked the Masons being there. And
That was a hard, fast no.
well,
that was-
because during the investigation that we were doing that night, the Masons were actually having their monthly
Yes.
get together meeting / dinner party extravaganza in the other side of the location. So I feel like it definitely heightened the
It was rather comical. Yeah, we got such a fast and hard no.
yeah.
So let's talk about the Mel meter next
Mel meter.
that we use.
This is actually a favorite of mine too.
Yes.
This specifically in its professional use to detect high EMF readings. A lot of electricians will go
Yes.
in and try to find hot spots because what happens is with high EMF detection, people start to feel different.
They have migraines. They could have GI upset. It started the Mel meter. Actually, the gentleman that built this is an electrical engineer. He lost his daughter, Melissa, and he built this as a way for her to communicate with him, which is why it's called Mel. So it detects temperature change, fluctuations in EMFs.
Yeah.
Remember, spirit, Albert Einstein, had stated that energy can't be destroyed until only changed in its form. So we believe that the human form, that energy of the soul continues on. And so when we talk about an orb, that would be a circular mass of energy that we believe is attributed to somebody's soul, that is actually somebody who's crossed, who now their soul has taken on that energy force or that energy sphere. And so the Mel meter, like Aubrey said, will pick up fluctuations. What place do you remember, Bree, that we used this on that we really liked it?
I mean, well, talking about the battleship again, but I used it as kind of a confirmation for me to make sure it wasn't a high EMF rating because I
Right.
saw something.
Boy, did she.
Yeah, I did see something. And my first initial reaction is to go to the source and try to figure out why that happened.
Can I just tell you, if I had saw something, I'm not so sure I would chase.
Yeah,
This one went up 3 steps in one step.
one leap and bound.
Boom,
Yeah.
off she went.
And my first thing, I had this in my hands and I immediately started to do a sweep. And what that means is typically when you go to locations, you always want to do an initial sweep to see what the EMF ratings are because that does
It could affect some of the other
the
equipment that
Redcon
we're using.
specifically, if
Yes.
it's too high EMF readings,
Yes.
it'll go off randomly, and then that gives a negative
Well, that gets a false positive.
false positive, and
Right.
it kind of interferes with our investigation. This is a great tool to do in the beginning and also during paranormal
Yes.
investigation.
So we do an initial sweep, and
it's great because it'll tell you if the temperature is dropping,
why would that be significant?
energy fields, and also that means that I believe that an energy or a spirit is trying to manipulate the energy around it, and it does change the temperature.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again where the temperatures drop.
Yeah.
And significantly.
Yeah, so if I see like a higher rating and I see the temperature going down,
Yes.
there might be somebody there.
Yeah. and then we use our own, our own senses. You get that tingling sensation, or you have cold spots.
But I've also used this as a debunking tool too,
Yeah.
because I've had instances where I've been on location where I've gone to a specific part and I am completely affected by. I am very sensitive to high EMF.
Yes.
I've learned that during my years of investigations. I'm very sensitive to EMF, so I can feel it right away. And I use this tool to validate, like, okay, I don't think this is paranormal. I think this is more electrical.
Right.
And we use it that way as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So Mel meter loves the changes in the field of the electromagnetic and the temperature.
This is probably one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
She when we go Yeah, I just hand it to her because I like it. I like, and I'm just,
Yeah.
So let's talk about the IR camera.
IR camera. Yep. You like this one.
I do. I think like photography's background,
Yeah, she likes
plays in the role.
Why don't you, since this is your favorite?
Well, okay. So basically, this camera is IR. It's infrared, so that can film a spectrum of light that human eyes can't see. So, like for instance, when we were at the prison, okay, and we were in the bathroom, and we were filming, it picked up an orb, and it moved. You'll see it on our Paranormal PSI Instagram. It moved from my right towards Aubrey. She had a spirit box in her hand. So I was able to capture that visually. Now, an orb versus a piece of dust. This orb went up, went to my left, did like a circle, and then went across the room to Aubrey. Dust will move based upon gravity. All right. So it will move vertically up and down. It will not go side to side. and it won't go through walls and things like that, orbs that have been seen. So in that case, we captured with the Phasm IR camera, and then this light box is the light screen emits the IR. So we can see so when I'm filming real time.
Spooky night vision.
Yeah, spooky night vision. I put on the bottom here, which is pretty cool. We actually use it to this way because on the bottom here, it's got a screw and mount that you could use on a tripod. I actually have a handheld. I have Loom Cube that I use for a lot of my vlogging, and it's got a tripod. So it's tripod based. It's a power, so I can put this in because this will suck up some energy.
Yeah.
And can put the cords in to do that to keep recording. So I love this.
And I think a lot of people say, well, why don't you just use your iPhone? Right? You can record on your regular phone. But the difference is this, though, this expands the light where you can see better. It just performs a lot more. It's on a higher level. You can see. So when, for instance, okay, let's say I was recording on my iPhone and we thought we saw an orb.
Yes.
But here's the thing, the light captured from that, it's very hard to determine.
Yeah.
Where
if you can't differentiate, it'll get washed out in the background.
Yes.
Because it's not captured in the IR infrared.
Yes.
So a favorite of mine, it uses an SD card, and you can take clips of it or film of it.
Yeah.
But love it, love it, love it.
She loves setting up her little tripod.
Yeah, because you can put the tripod down stationary and continue to film.
Yeah.
And then Aubrey and I can be interacting with other equipment.
And also leaving the room. That's a big thing too, is that sometimes with energy or spirits, not as they'll have neurodivergent sometimes.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah. A little neurodivergent. So when you leave the room, if you have a stationary tripod, who knows?
Yeah.
We
capture.
Yeah.
So
we are just moving through the list.
We
Okay.
are.
Let's talk about let's do digital recorder.
Let's do it.
This is actually another favorite of mine. This takes me back to Sixth Sense. This, I believe, is another great tool like that of the Polaroid where you can reevaluate your findings in real time.
Yeah.
Simple digital recorder. This is great when we're doing when we're trying to capture EVPs, which are electric voice phenomenon,
which would be other people talking besides Aubrey and I,
which we do a lot. So it's not that hard to find out whose voice is or is not ours. So what we do standard when we do EVP sessions, I'll put this down on a location. Sometimes we'll have trigger objects surrounding it to try to emit.
Yeah, elicit a response. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we've done that at Fort Mifflin when we were in the rooms with soldiers' barracks, and there were still the barracks there and some memorabilia.
And what was the response we got?
Get out.
Yeah, that was
like women.
Yeah, women were not supposed to be in the barracks.
So, and we were told very much so on here. I like that it is a very simple device.
Yeah.
You
It's
just put it down. You could walk
the
away.
Haunted Hurley Tour, we put one in there to run constantly
Yeah.
next to a REM pod.
Yes.
And what we found in our post evaluation when we went over it is that you could hear footsteps and then you would hear the REM pod go off and there was nobody in the room.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that those two things.
And it correlates because obviously the REM pod isn't going to detect footsteps.
Right.
You know, like you just
Until you get close enough
right.
to, yeah.
But if we're not there present in the room,
Well, right.
that's where the digital recorder comes in because it's recording everything that's going on in that room.
Yeah. And it's nice to leave a recorder and a camera going when we're in another portion of an investigation, another wing or area.
And I think it further validates our findings. It's
Yeah.
like another buffer, so to speak. So if we're having a session where we're asking questions and we heard a sigh,
Yes.
we thought we heard a sigh or a groan or
Yes.
something of a response, I can stop this, go right back and listen to it right then and there to confirm.
I also wanted to bring up if you had the battery. I'm going to show something here. You know, the battery to the thermal camera. So when we went out and did an investigation recently, and there was the camera, we used what's called a thermal camera. Now, a thermal camera is used in HVAC.
Builders will use it to try to find leaks in pipes, and it's like in the name thermal, it detects different thermal imaging camera detects different temperatures.
Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it has a screen on it, and it's color. So it detects color and changes in thermal within the room. Now, why do we use that? You know, if a human will pick up, 98.6, but we've had situations where in a chair, you'll have a handprint that's blue, which is very cold, cold spots, 62 degrees, and you'll see a hand there, and then the chair will start to move. And you're like, that wasn't me, but you'll see an actual handprint. So I love it. The ghost hunters use it. Jason, shout out to you. You were a delight at the New Jersey Expo. Everybody there was fantastic. But he's a big fan of using it.
Also being a funner.
Yes, totally. And, it's called a FLIR and FLIR camera. They are expensive. So we got one with a case and extra batteries. And I'm thrilled. It's been wonderful. We've used that quite a bit.
I like using that one too.
Yeah. And again, what I can do is that I'll be holding on to it, kind of like, and I know you can't see Aubrey holding it. Again, go to Paranormal PSI on Instagram. But there's a picture of me holding it while I'm holding the iPhone. So I'm capturing in real time. You could also put an SD card in if you didn't have one, but it shows real time results. So again, I enjoy that.
Yep.
Now let's talk about cat balls.
Yeah, pretty standard. You can find them at any local Petco or PetSmart. These are fun. These are a little bit more of an interactive tool that we use, especially when we want to maybe communicate with younger spirits.
Yes.
And anybody really. The reason being is that, so as you can see, I'm moving it around, nothing's happening. So for this specific toy, you have to, this red button here, you have to actually press that down for it to emit light. And what's great about this is that when we talk to spirits and we say, hey, we have this little toy. If you'd like to communicate, you can go ahead and press the button. And what you do is you hold it, you can place it down somewhere, and then you just kind of let it be. And if, again, similar to the REM pod, if it gets close enough that it presses that button.
And it takes a good bit.
So I'll show it again. So I'm physically pushing down. It's not like I can just do a light tap like that. No, I have to press down.
Yes.
For it to actually do something.
Yes.
So that definitely correlates.
Or here, when it senses movement, which was really cool when we were at the USS Battleship.
Down in the kitchens.
We put one in front of the,
coffee maker.
that's it.
And I had jokingly said, I'm very thirsty. I would love a cup of coffee. Well, don't you know, this cat ball. Now, I also had other tools around there, other equipment, and nothing else was going off except for this. And it continued to do it throughout the night.
Yes.
And I, for me, that kind of sends more, maybe possibly a residual. Who knows?
Could have been.
But we don't know. But the cat that being in a dark room and you just see this little ball light up after asking questions, it definitely helps you validate whether there is something there. But yeah, I like this little tool, and children's spirits
Which there was a child there as well who was playing with them. Her name's Charlotte. Again, we'll talk about that in our next podcast.
Yeah.
But there are other toys out there.
Yeah.
Now, I just shout out to Go Stop. I'm not a paid
Not
sponsor.
getting sponsored.
No. But Amy Brunei loves them as well, and so does Adam. And a lot of this equipment was purchased through them. They've been fantastic to deal with. Even the camera I had an issue with, and Audrey got right back to me. So for that, shout out to you all. But we're looking to purchase other equipment. And we were having a conversation about what would be great for children.
Yeah.
There's a teddy bear that when they play with the teddy bear's heart lights up.
Or parts of the body lights up too.
Yeah. There's a thing called the Ghost Bell, which is kind of old school, but it's an EMF. It's kind of like a REM pod. It'll pick up changes in the EMF, and you can ask yes, no questions. They use that on the battleship as well.
Think of literally a bell on a hotel service that you ding for.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty much
That is exactly
what it's pretty much what it looks like.
a little bit more interactive though.
Yeah. And there's also the music box. And when we were at the prison, I had an experience. Aubrey was using the it was a great place to visit. If you have a chance to go, the Burlington County Prison Museum, great place. Kyle, shout out to you. You're amazing to work with. You're just a great tour guide and information for paranormal. But we were down there, and Aubrey was picking up and communicating some dowsing rods, and with the little girl who's known to be seen at the bank. And the next thing, mediumship wise, I'm standing there, and I can hear a little girl go, "Can you tell him to get my music box? He doesn't play it anymore. It's broken.
Yeah.
Can he fix it?" So Kyle looked at me, and he went back into the office and got it and showed that it was broken. So I noticed kids like toys that make music,
Music box.
music boxes, things that maybe back in their timeline they used to play with, which music boxes are one of them. So
I don't think they know what an iPad is, so I don't think.
right. So we're looking to expand on our next couple of purchases about a toy.
Yep.
That'd be great to work with kids. Now, if you don't have this equipment and you kind of want to go out with your iPhone, there's two apps that we've used. I was in the catacombs of Old St. Patrick's Church in New York City, and I used the Necrometer, and I also used the Spirit Talker. Now, the Spirit Talker, again, not a paid sponsor of any of this. The Spirit Talker I like for the sheer fact that it will show it'll show, you can go in here to files, and once it loads up, you can go back in here for a file and then pull up in that investigation what words were said. And when I was there in the catacombs, it was a candlelight, it was a tour, and then they let you go about your way. The catacombs are where people are buried, right? Under the church. All of the archbishops from New York are buried there. And some other, very famous people have gotten married there. Alex Baldwin had gotten married there. It's a really gorgeous church. If you have a chance to take the tour, I highly recommend it. But during my walk through the catacombs, I had this, and these are the words that were said. Shush was said. And
You're
then
in church.
yes, I'm in a church. And then it's very lonely here. Then it said devastation. Then one of the people buried there is named Eugene, and the name Eugene came up. And then it said, "Are you aware I'm here?" I know, pretty intelligent. And then it said, "Pleased to meet you." So again, I like the Spirit Talker app because it keeps a file. Now, I also like and use the Necrometer. And I used this when we were at the Waverly Auditorium.
Yep.
And when I was walking into an area that I didn't know suicide had occurred, the word suicide came up, and X marks the spot. And boy, that place is off the hook if you ever get a chance to go. Shout out to Courtney, the security guard and tour guide, and Tina. Thank you so much for giving us a private tour. It was wonderful. It was amazing. But Necrometer and Spirit Talker would be something I would use. Oh, now we forgot this piece of equipment.
So if you can't, so the reason why apps are great, they're a little bit more easier to obtain than something like an Ovilus, which basically this is on the same realm of that.
Except on steroids.
It is on steroids, yeah. So this guy, what this does is this has a whole dictionary in it of words.
Yeah, a word library.
And when we set this up and we try to ask questions, is there anybody here? And it says Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Rest. There's just random words that it'll.
We give it a minute to tear through.
Peter. And we've used this during a lot of our investigations.
Yes.
To try to pinpoint who we're speaking to.
Yes.
Or any messages they like to relay. Touch. Oh, the cat ball's going on.
And the cat ball's going on.
Yeah.
Peter, Peter, are you here with us? That's wild.
Yeah.
That I didn't plan for that to happen. So I'm as surprised as you are that cat ball is going off.
Yeah. I mean.
So we used it in Battleship. We used it at the Haunted Hurley tour. No, we didn't have that then.
This is a newbie.
That's a newbie.
This is a newbie.
So the Battleship, like for instance, we were in front of
I kept saying Faith,
Grace,
and there's a chaplain. There was a chaplain there, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're all looking at the cat ball because I can't believe it went off either. But that was great to be for the Battleship. So it's kind of like Spirit Talker or Necro, but they can draw on it. There's different apps within the Obvious, but it has over a 5,000 word library for them to use. So you can get very intelligent conversations by using by the Spirit manipulating the word library in there. So it's one of our favorite new
shiny new toys,
ghost hunting equipment, and one that we very much enjoy. So, here at Mediumship Moments, and the paranormal investigations that Aubrey and I do at Paranormal PSI on our Instagram, it's something we enjoy. We get to spend time together, and we come from the scientific background of debunking. But our next trip is,
we're going to Gettysburg.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
So I can't wait to bring all the shiny toys with us and see what we can pick up there. Again, this is just a taste of the ghost hunting equipment that we use. If you have any suggestions about any ghost hunting equipment that you've used that's been successful, by all means, leave a comment on Mediumship Moments podcast on YouTube, in the comments below, or the Mediumship Moments Instagram. Let us know what experiences you've had with any ghost in your home, or if you've done a paranormal investigation, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. And if you'd like to see some more behind the scenes of all of our investigations, follow us on paranormal_PSI, where you'll see firsthand the equipment that we use and the findings that we have the chance to get.
So as always, keep chatting with your angels because they can hear you.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time for another episode of Mediumship Moments. If you enjoyed this episode of Kim's podcast, check her out on Instagram and TikTok at Kim Durham Medium.